next comedian coming to the stage. He has been on Conan multiple times. You guys are gonna love him so much. Give it up real loud right now for Brad Wenzel!
All right. Hey, thanks everybody. I hope you guys are good. It's been a weird couple of years, you know. Like I had short hair my whole life, and I grew it out during the pandemic. And now old people don't smile back. I didn't think they were just gonna cut me out like that, but they did. You know? I miss them. You know. All right, we're having fun. I'm just gonna say a bunch of funny stuff. That's how I like to do it. I want to talk about fencing real quick. I don't have segues for any of these. I think that fencing with the swords is funny to watch if the whole time you pretend they're saying, "Stop it." Like, stop it. All right, that one's over. There's gonna be a lot of stuff like that. You know? You guys know Dave Thomas, the Wendy's guy? Yeah, Dave Thomas named Wendy's after his daughter Wendy, which is super crazy when you think about it, because his oldest son was named Burger Shack Thomas. Isn't that weird? I was walking a while back, and I saw a flyer on a telephone pole that said, "Did you lose a tortoise?" Can you imagine that level of negligence? Some dude's like, "I turn my head for like 2 hours." I like a ham and cheese omelet. I like eating those. I'm a simple guy. I'm from the Midwest. I like a ham and cheese omelet, you know. What I want to do is I want to do a travel show where I go to diners all across the country and they tell me all about their specialty, and then I order a ham and cheese omelet. That's every episode of the show. I talk to him for like 20 minutes. I'm super polite, you know. I'm like, "That's crazy. I never would have thought of that as a sandwich topping. That's really unique. I really like that. I am going to do the ham and cheese omelet." Then they just roll credits. You know? I had jury duty. I was on my way to jury duty, and I got on an elevator, and then a cockroach got on the elevator, and I was like, "Wow, they make everybody do this." I love the idea of the cockroach's buddy being like, "Hey man, you want to go bum everybody out on the sidewalk?" And he's like, "I wish. I got jury duty." Super busy. You know? I live in LA now. I think palm trees are the only trees that can pull off sarcasm. Did somebody already talk about this? That's just a little joke. Palm trees can be sarcastic, you know. Like sometimes I'll be at like a really sad gas station in LA, and the palm tree will just be looking at me like, "Paradise." Like, why are you making fun of me, tree? I saw a UFC fight on TV. It was on TV. I was watching it. You guys know TV. I think a UFC fight would look more organic if the referee was a drunk woman who kept yelling, "You guys!" I think that's more slice of life, you know? All right, this is serious. It's not. They're all jokes. But listen, I'm against testing cigarettes on monkeys. I think there's safer ways to see if monkeys look cool. We could do all that same research using tiny leather jackets. You know? You guys are weird. I like you guys. This is gonna be fun. You know how people always say, like, if you run for president, you're crazy. Like, if you want that job, you're crazy. I think the only thing crazier than running for president is running for mayor of a small town. Because if you lose, you got to walk around town not mayor. Like that first post-election trip to the local Dairy Queen. Everyone knows you wanted to be mayor. Your friends are reassuring you about it. They're like, don't worry about it. No one's thinking about it. And you're like, I made signs. I was at Staples, the place. I was at Staples, and the guy tried to staple something to my receipt, and the stapler wouldn't work. And I said, I won't tell anybody. I know I told him that, but it's just too juicy. I really betrayed that guy's trust. If I was honest with that guy, I'd be like, look, I'm going to fly to Fort Collins and tell 50 people in the dark. I don't want to brag or anything, but I never joined a cult. Never joined a cult. I'm not smart or anything. I think it's just because of how often I say, I don't know about all that. You could really diffuse a situation with that phrase, you know? Like, I don't think the Manson family would have happened if one guy was like, yeah, I don't know about all that. What are we doing? I thought you were going to play guitar. I don't know. In all seriousness, I think that the meatball sub is a false convenience, and I don't believe in it. Because the meatball sub implies meatballs on the go, but the harsh reality is they will get away from you. Utensil-free meatballs are anarchy. It's kind of like Go-Gurt. You know Go-Gurt? A meatball sub's like if Go-Gurt still prided itself on being a spoon-free yogurt, but instead of tubes, they just sold you loose yogurt in a paper bag. You guys, don't worry, it's not all political stuff. I got other stuff. I was thinking about this. I think if I was friends with a professional baseball player, it would be hard to take their job seriously. Like every time I saw them, I'd just be like, did you have fun at baseball? You should get a real job, like stand-up comedy. There's nothing wrong with like a pet fish. You got a pet fish, it's fine, you know. But they are the least fun of the pets. Like imagine if the only interaction you had with your dog was once a day when you lightly seasoned it. Like, that's all you, buddy. See you tomorrow, all right? You ever look at a raccoon's hands? A raccoon's hands are too smart for the rest of the animal. Like, raccoons are always doing something dumb with their body, but their hands are brilliant. You know? Like, a raccoon will be like eating a bunch of garbage out of a dumpster, and then you shine a flashlight on it, and they like shuffle a deck of cards at you. A raccoon's the only animal that snaps its fingers when it remembers something. A raccoon will be like, why'd I come over here? Wet pizza box. I was on a plane, I was on a flight, and the flight attendant was like, are you the guy who checked the guitar? But I don't even own a guitar. So I got profiled as a weird vibe. I was like, fair enough, you know? I don't like the evil clown from the It movie. I don't think anybody really likes the evil clown. But I bet nobody hates Pennywise more than a regular clown trapped in a storm drain. He's like, I know this looks bad. But please help me. Everybody's walking by like, nah, I've seen this before. My friend, he was telling me that whenever he goes to a bar, people just assume he's the bouncer because he's a really big guy. And I realize I have that too, except my version is if I'm holding a pizza box in public, strangers are like, how late are you guys open? I'm like, no, this is for me. This is recreational pizza. When I was a kid, my friends, we'd tell your mama jokes, you know, like they're fun, they're harmless, you know. Now I'm older though, I realize they're way too negative. Your mama jokes are too negative. Like if you really want to mess with your friend, just tell them exactly what you find attractive about their mom. It's like, your mom's so this, your mom's so that. And it's like, I wasn't going to say anything, but your mom has great legs and I love her laugh. They'll think about that forever. You know? This is something I always wanted to do. I think this would be fun. What I want to do is I want to take a potato head, but it's all noses. There's a nose in every hole. I want to take the potato head to like a modern art exhibit and like smuggle it in and put it out there and see if people like get it. People are walking up to it like, yes. Yes, many of us are blind to the plight of the 19th century Irish. Then I walk up as the artist. I'm the artist. I got like a scarf, you know. I'm like, no, it's funny because it's all noses. People are really into conspiracies now. People love conspiracies, but they're usually really big. I think the smaller the conspiracy is, the more interesting it is. Like where I grew up, the McDonald's parking lot used to have a ton of seagulls, and now, no seagulls. Make that documentary. I want to be interviewed for that documentary, but only for like 2 seconds. So it just says like Brad Wenzel, comedian, and I'm like, yeah, they were everywhere, man. That's my whole part in the documentary. I have a Casio. Things are going pretty well for me. I never understood expensive watches, you know? Like, you don't have better time than me. Casio's got this cool feature where it tells time even after a robbery. Like, if me and a Rolex dude both get mugged, Rolex dude's like, that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, and it's 10:56. I want to talk about bees. Bees are like really mean, you know? Bees are like really defensive naturally, but there's like honey involved. Kind of makes you wonder what porcupines got on the line. Like, I haven't Googled it or anything, but like porcupines could be full of caramel. That's the dumbest joke I'm gonna tell tonight. That one's not for everybody, but 2 people after every show are like, I like that porcupine joke. This is something I did. I did this a while back. I put a bunch of bugles on my fingers. I put bugles on my fingers, and I took a picture of it, and I tweeted it at WebMD. I just wrote in all caps, is this serious? And they didn't get back to me, you know. But that's true, I did that, and Bugles saw it, and they sent me some free Bugles, and I'm pretty proud of that. People get really fired up about that. You know when you go bowling, and you get an old ball, and there's a name engraved on the ball? That's a dead person's ball. That normally gets a big laugh. You guys took it pretty serious. Did something happen to the bowling community here? Whenever you get a dead ball, it really adds some gravity to the situation. Like, I'm not just trying to pick up this spare. I'm trying to honor the memory of Barb. I was in a museum, and I read that Stegosaurus had a brain the size of a golf ball. I gotta be honest, they really undermined Stegosaurus with that. They kind of roasted him. I think it would be funny if every dinosaur exhibit went out of its way to roast Stegosaurus. As you can see, Tyrannosaurus stood 20 feet tall, and if you look over here, Stegosaurus has chocolate all around his mouth. We were able to recreate the sound a Stegosaurus makes, and the sound is, aw, geez. Man, they're going in on Stegosaurus. I watched a documentary about Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel jumped 13 buses, and my main takeaway from the documentary was when it comes to bus rental, there are no questions asked. They called up Greyhound and were like, hey, we're going to need 13 buses. We got a couple ramps. We got a guy with a motorcycle. And they just cut him off in the middle. And we're like, yeah, man, I'm going to write down church group. I think taxidermy's weird. I go whenever they taxidermy a bear, they make it all ferocious, but when they taxidermy a moose head, they just make it reflect on its divorce. A moose head's always on the wall at the VFW hall, like, I should have been there more. I don't do a lot of impressions, but that's one of my impressions. When I go to the grocery store, I'm insecure about opening a carton of eggs before I buy them. I feel like I look super paranoid. Just once, I want to open up a carton of eggs and have it be a bomb with wires and everything. So I'd be like, all right, good thing I checked. You don't want to buy these. I live in an apartment building, so I always have to get quarters to do laundry. I feel like this crowd is doing too well for this joke. All right, well, if you're not living a life of luxury, you gotta get quarters to do laundry. Whenever I go to the bank for quarters, I realize I'm barely tethered to polite society. Because I go to the bank and like 10 feet away, there's people getting home loans and business loans, and I'm just up at the counter like 40 of the big coins or I'll start to smell bad. Give me my coins. I think it's funny that like moms are usually the smartest person in the family and the most likely to spend money on a pine cone. Whenever my mom buys a pine cone, I feel like she was tricked in some way. I'm like, who sold you this pine cone? I can get pine cones. I like that grizzly bears love salmon because it's the only reasonable thing about them. Grizzly bears are like, do I sleep in a cave? Yes. Will I hesitate to kill anyone? No. Do I eat heart healthy? Of course. I'm a pretty funny guy. I should have just said that the whole time. I miss the mark sometimes. Like a while back, all my wife wanted for her birthday was she's like, I want a certain cake from a certain bakery. That's all I want for my birthday. And I was like, that's easy. I can do that. So I go online, I order the cake, and you can choose what they write on the cake. I never had that kind of power before. So I was like, what if the cake said something awesome? So I ordered the cake. A couple days go by, and I'm like, hey, I got the cake. And my wife very, very earnestly was just like, hey, you don't write anything stupid on my cake, right? I was like, I gotta change this. So I go online, I try to change it, and I can't figure out how to change it, you know? And you know how sometimes you'd write something you wouldn't necessarily say in person? It was one of those. Because I had to call up a bakery, and I had to talk to a grown woman on the phone, and she said, what did the cake say? And I had to say out loud, it's me, Cake McCakerson. And she said, what do you want the cake to say? And I said, happy birthday, Emily. And she didn't say anything, but the story kind of tells itself. All right, I got some more jokes here. These are the same as the other jokes, but these jokes are extra funny on paper, so I made sure to bring the paper. At this stage of the show, I find that the paper really draws people in, you know, it gives the show a theatrical element, you know. So here's some more jokes, but I have this paper. I think the names of boats have gotten dumber over time, and I kind of wish that was always the case. Because then history books would say stuff like, with hopes of a better life, the Pilgrim set sail on the Weekend Warrior. This is something about me. If a falcon ever lands on my forearm, I didn't plan it, and you should jump in right away. I'm getting attacked by a bird. I don't have any secret hobbies. I need your help. I think it's funny that like science only uses the phrase playing God if it's something big. Like cloning people is playing God, but a fog machine is just a fun goof. Compared to meteorologists, the weatherman sounds pretty immature. I wish every expert had a really dumb alternative title. Like, you should be able to say anesthesiologist or Dr. Sleepy. Remember when I said the porcupine was the dumbest one? I lied. Yeah, all right, here we go. Give a man a lobster he eats for a day. Teach a man to lobster he eats all alone due to his weird lobster behavior. I think barbershop polls look too silly for what's going on in there. If you'd never seen a barbershop poll, you'd be like, oh, cool, it's like a candy bank. There's a felony called criminal mischief. That's too whimsical a name for a felony. That's obvious. You know, we all know that. But what's really weird about it is I read this whole article about it. It was really strange about criminal mischief. Is the charge for criminal mischief totally depends on the judge and how many raspberries they want to blow on your tummy. All right, I got one more, and then I'll quit screwing around. Hey, you know what they say? Opinions are like assholes. Tony the Tiger has exactly one. I did that joke at a show one time, and this guy in the crowd was like, "That's not true." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Well, sometimes they play the commercials in Spanish, and he says something else, so he technically has more than one opinion." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought you were going to say Tony the Tiger has two assholes. Like, what's more unlikely, that or a bilingual tiger? People usually don't get too upset with my jokes and stuff. Like, one time I told a Trump joke on Conan, and a stranger on the internet, he got mad at me, but in kind of a funny way. The joke was, all I said was, I said, Trump always looks like he's just been upside down. Pretty funny. And then a stranger on the internet, he called me a doofus beatnik that makes wisecracks for a living. I was like, that's not an inaccurate description. But it's like, beatnik. This guy posts online from a typewriter. Getting called a beatnik makes you feel like you're the first thing to upset that person in 50 years. Because I looked up beatnik and I was like, all right, let's get this straight. This guy's at home, like, you know what pisses me off? This comedian, and before that time young people embraced modern jazz. Is everybody doing good? Everybody having a good time? All right, good. You guys have been great. I got a knee slap out of that guy. That was huge. That meant a lot to me. You have no idea. You guys been a good crowd. I just like to check in at this point in the show, make sure everybody's having a good time, you know. We'll do team on 3 at the end or something. You guys have been great, you know. I'm going to take this crowd to state. I'm so proud of this crowd. Before this show started, they were like, there's no way this crowd's going to state. They were like, Fort Collins, Friday late show. They gotta hold their pee the whole time. There's no way. There's no way they're going to stay. And I was like, yeah, but they got heart. All right, I gotta tell more jokes, but well, let's do team on 3. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. There was a little delay on that. Normally people are like, team. You guys were like, team. That was the Colorado version of team. Team. It's more fun that way. All right. You know how aloha means hello and goodbye? I think it's cool it does both. I realize the closest we have to that on the mainland is at the end of the Little Caesars commercial when the guy says, pizza, pizza. That's how I say goodbye to people now. I get out of an Uber and I'm like, pizza, pizza. I zone out a lot. Like I drift off into space, like I could never be a lifeguard. If I was a lifeguard, they'd give me a fake job. They would be like, Brad, you make sure no one writes anything in the sand. I'd have fun with that. I'd be walking up to couples with a rake, like, Courtney and Chris forever. Not on my beach. My wife told me that she watched the Brendan Fraser movie, The Mummy, at too young of an age, and now she has a genuine fear of mummies. Yeah, I'm on her side, So now if, I encounter a mummy at a museum or something, I let them know we're not cool. I let them know we have beef, I don't make a scene or anything, I pretend to read the plaque. I'm like, oh, a prince that got kicked by a horse. That's crazy. If you ever come near my wife. I will put you in the ground like a regular poor person. The security guard's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm cool if he's cool. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I got some more jokes here. I got in an argument with this guy because I was trying to explain to him, that I don't accept criticism from someone I wouldn't go to for advice. I was trying to explain that, but he didn't get it at all. He didn't get it. He just kept saying, you got chili all over me. I have one fridge. I live a one fridge lifestyle. Some people have 2 fridges. That seems way more intense. Because one fridge people are like, we're out of yogurt. And 2 fridge people are like, we're out of yogurt. I looked everywhere. I'm glad you guys laughed. I'm not proud of that one. I looked up the net worth for Burger King. It's a really big number, which isn't surprising, but it is funny if you describe Burger King before you say it. Burger King is this place that sells cheeseburgers, and you can go in there and you can buy a cheeseburger, and if you want, when they give you your cheeseburger, they'll give you a paper crown. And if you want, you can put the paper crown on while you eat your cheeseburger. And then it's like you're the Burger King. $10 billion. I was in my car, and I pulled up to a 4-way stop, and on the curb, there were 4 mannequins. Someone had thrown out 4 mannequins, and all the mannequins were pregnant. When you stumble upon 4 pregnant mannequins, it feels like the universe is giving you a sign meant for someone else. The universe was like, hey, is this Todd? I was like, no, this is Brad. And they're like, Todd isn't there? And I was like, no, there's no Todd here. They're like, that's so weird. You can hear the universe shuffling a bunch of papers around. They're like, you got the 4 pregnant mannequins though? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking right at them. They're like, oh man, I don't know. Were you also trying really hard to come up with a name for your ska band? And then someone honked and I had to go, but... All right, you guys are fun. I'm gonna try 2 pretty weird jokes, and if they don't work, we'll just cut them out. But you guys are a fun crowd, so... Who do you think was the greatest little boy of all time? Like, of all the little boys who ever lived, who do you think was the best at it, you know? Jerry Maguire, that's good. Sometimes people say Macaulay Culkin, stuff like that, you know. Dennis the Menace, that's a really good one. Pinocchio, that wasn't a real boy. Wow, there are a lot of little boys. That is the least creepy anyone's ever said that. I think it depends how you define the greatest little boy. You know, like was the greatest boy who ever lived, was it who like could blow the biggest bubble of bubble gum, or like who had the biggest baseball card collection? I think the greatest little boy of all time was John Wayne. That dude never stopped pretending to be a cowboy. All right, we're keeping it in. All right, I got one other weird one. All right, listen up. Parrots are less believable than Bigfoot, but we've seen them, so it's fine. Parrots are way weirder than Bigfoot, and we're so dismissive of Bigfoot. We're like an ape who keeps to himself. Impossible. Hold on, this bird just asked for me by name. I think God is cruel. Good night, everybody. No. That would be crazy. No, I think God is cruel because God made the cure for jellyfish stings pee. But he's cruel because God gave jellyfish no eyes to see and no mouths to laugh. I know that joke is flawed. Some people are like, the pee thing isn't real. Some people are like, the God thing isn't real. I'm more in the middle, you know? Like, sometimes I think there's a God, and sometimes I get lied to and peed on. Depends how my day's going. You know? All right, I'll open up to you guys. I'm a big Bob Seger fan. I love Bob Seger. Yeah. Bob Seger saved my life recently. I was walking down the street in LA and I had a Bob Seger t-shirt on. And this guy was like, hey, that's a great shirt. I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, you see him when he was at the Forum? And I was like, I saw him at the Forum. It's like a 2-second conversation. And I kept walking. I got to a crosswalk and I had the light to go through. I went to step through and this car just barreled through going like 50 miles per hour. And I was like, oh, shit. It was one of those things where that guy's like, if I got here 2 seconds sooner, I'd be dead for sure. And I was like, oh, my God, my shirt. Like, my shirt saved my life, you know? So, like, I was a Bob Seger fan before, but now if someone's like, I don't really care for Bob Seger, I'm like, how about you keep his name out of your fucking mouth? All right, thank you guys so much.
Keep it going for Brad.